Have you ever thought after one of your coaching or hypnosis sessions, I don't really know if that worked or if the client really got the most out of that session or out of that call? Or you probably were thinking, oh, like that was a really good, amazing session. But I think it could have been better. I'm not really sure how, this is going to pan out in the future for this client. If you've ever, kind of doubted the fact that whether or not your session worked, first of all, that is a normal feeling to have. You just care a lot about your clients, so that is first of all um, a good skill to have. But at the same time, here's how you can actually make sure that you have the confidence to know that it worked, that your coaching worked, or that your hypnosis session worked, or if you're a coach who uses NLP, if that worked too. Main thing here, here's how to be confidently know that your session worked. And this is actually something that was never taught to me in the many detailed trainings that I have been in terms of subconscious rewiring. Um, and we kind of just go into the session and assume that things assume or keep your fingers crossed that it worked right after you do your thing, um because I wasn't taught this until I learned advanced conversational hypnosis. So in ACH there is this really really important thing that we do at the end, mostly, but we if you become a master of it, you kind of interlace it at the beginning too. But anyway, the this process is called testing. So, and it's really what it is. It is testing to see whether or not your session worked. And so I'm going to tell you about testing because it's really, really transformational when I started doing this, and it makes total sense. Like once you hear it, you're going to be like, oh, duh, like why am I not doing it? Right. And so you all you do is really is to test to see if the problem that your client came in with is still there. Um, and there's two types of testing we do. There's the situational testing, and then more of like an emotional testing. So, for example, you have. So, for example, you have. Sorry. For example, you have a client who fears sales, right? They're terrified of going on sales calls, and that's really what they want to work with you on, or that's what they worked with you on. So at the end, you're literally going to test to see if their fear of sales is still there. Now, traditionally, especially in the hypnosis modality that I was trained in, you kind of just did your thing, you investigated the problem, and then at the end, during the recording or after the recording, you kind of just kept your fingers crossed and assumed they no longer have the fear, right? So in a testing phase, what you would do is at the end, you actually ask the client how they feel about the problem, right? How do they feel about sales calls now? Do they still have that fear? And the first one is situational, right? So to say they have told you that they fear sales calls, especially if I don't know, if they have two a day, if there's like more than one, or they fear sales calls if they haven't closed anybody for three to five times. They haven't closed three to five potential clients, and then when they just have that rejection, they fear the sales more. And what you really do at the end is ask them the situation, right? Like, how do you feel now about sales calls in general? They answer. And then another situation is, well, you told me before that whenever you get rejected, you get one rejection, or you don't close three to four potential clients, that this fear starts to come up with the next one. How do you feel about it now? Literally super simple. That's how you test clients, because when they tell you, I still have that fear, well, you still got some work to do, right? It really just helps you get to the root of the problem. And that is why ACH is so fast, because we test. And like I said earlier, if you get really good at it, you can even test at the beginning to make sure that at the end, most of the knots are untied and they are ready to nail that sales call, right? So that's one thing, a situational scenario. And a second one is an emotional scenario. Say it's the same example, say it's fear. I kind of already asked the same question, is how do you feel about do you still feel fear whenever you think about sales calls, right? And say they said that whenever they get rejected, they just feel so sad and overwhelmed. Ask them, if you were to go on a sales call today after this call and you don't close the client, do you think you're still going to do you still think you're going to feel overwhelmed and sad, right? Those are the like those are the two main things that you test your clients on: situational and emotional. Especially in the emotional, because our emotions get in our way from when we tend to do the things that we need to do, right? So when you're able to test the scenarios and the emotions, your client sessions and results are going to be faster, because you're going to catch them um, within that session, and still have the ability while you're there with you to help them release and reprogram that old fear. So definitely do this. I would recommend it. It's super simple. Just, do a few testing questions and see how they feel. And if they pass the test, good. If they don't, you get to work with them on it, right? And they're already there with you. So you're actually saving a lot of time there and saving you future sessions by testing. This is one of the secret sauces of ACH, is because we really do say that we can change someone's life in many areas with just one call, because we test scenarios and we prevent future sessions from happening, because we test, because we can catch where our clients are still having some issues about the problem, and we can help them rewire it right then and there within the session. Very, very common that our clients would say, wow, I think I've had 5 sessions just in one, and really it's just through this testing phase, mostly, right? So definitely test your clients. You'll get faster breakthroughs. They're going to love you for it. You're going to get amazing testimonials. You're going to feel amazing and confident with your ability to actually know that it worked. Because if you test the client and they pass with flying colors, then you know that the session works, and you'll have that relief and confidence within you, and you'll no longer have to carry that mental and energetic stress of wondering if the client session worked. So test, test, test. And if you have any questions regarding testing, let me know, and I will see you soon.